Have you ever been out and had such an amazing experience? You think, oh my God, how did they do that amazing experience for such a little amount of money? I would have gladly paid much more money for that experience. Have you also had the experience where you've gone out and you found two products? One is much more expensive than the other, but yet you choose to buy the more expensive product? Why is that? What could possibly drive us more than price? The answer is value. And to help us understand these concepts, there's a wonderful parable, a book named The Go-Giver, by two gentlemen, Bob Berg and John David Mann. And what they've done in this parable is they've lined out not only a business strategy, but a life strategy. An opportunity for us to recognize ways that if we implement these strategies, we'll be more successful in business and more successful in life. The book talks about a character named Joe. Joe's a salesman. He's a go-getter. He is one of these guys, he's driven, he wants to be successful, he's a really nice guy, but he's having a hard time making it work. He just can't seem to get his numbers. He's got this account, he's putting all his hopes and dreams into this big account, and he gets the phone call. They're thinking of going with a competitor because they're thinking the competitor has more clout and leverage. Well, what's Joe to do? He remembers hearing about a guy, they called him the chairman. If he can get the chairman to let him use his name on this deal, he would have the clout and leverage to get this deal and make his numbers. So he finds out the contact information for the chairman. He gives him a call. The assistant says, yes, he'd love to meet with you. Can you meet him tomorrow morning? Wow, really? Tomorrow morning? This must be surely some lucky accident that they think he's someone else. He's going to take advantage of it anyway. He shows up in the morning, and there's this beautiful mansion. Surely it's everybody's definition of success. So as he's meeting with the chairman, and he's just getting ready to pounce and tell him that he needs him for the clout and the leverage, the chairman says, I know why you're here. You're here to learn the trade secrets, to learn about the 5 laws of stratospheric success. Now, what would you do at this point? Would you tell him about wanting clout and leverage, or would you listen to the trade secrets and the 5 laws of stratospheric success? Well, like you, Joe's no dummy. He's going to shut up and listen to these trade secrets. And so the chairman goes on to tell him about these 5 laws of stratospheric success, and they are going in the next week to meet different people who are going to help him understand these different laws. The only condition is that Joe has to put into practice each day one thing to put into practice the law he's just learned about. So the first law they learn about is the law of value. What the law of value says is that your true worth is determined by how much more you provide in value than you take in payment. Now, a lot of times people think that this means you have to discount your prices, take less payment. Not at all. What it means is if you want to take a high salary, that's wonderful. You want to take a high payment? No problem. Just provide more in value. And the value is what the other person perceives as valuable to them. A couple of great examples. I talked about buying 2 products, one more expensive than the other. I happen to own a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. I could have easily bought another motorcycle, looks very similar, for a quarter of what I spent for the Harley-Davidson motorcycle. What I was buying was not just a motorcycle to get me from point A to point B, or just a particular look. It was a lifestyle. It's a community. It's a family. I can go anywhere in the world, and if I see someone wearing Harley-Davidson merchandise, I can strike up a conversation, and we're instantly friends. That was worth much more to me than the mere dollars I paid for the motorcycle. Another great example of providing more in value than you take in payment is my housekeeper. Now she comes in and she cleans the house because I don't like to clean. I'm capable of cleaning, and in fact she could do it in less time than it takes me to do it, but I'm not just merely exchanging my money for her time. There are so many more benefits that I get out of her cleaning? Well, for one, she does a much better job than I would. She gets into every little nook and cranny. The other thing is that she is so trustworthy that she actually comes and cleans my house when I'm not even there. I can trust her to clean, which is why I use her over just any other maid service. But the best value to me is the feeling of walking into that clean house when I come home from the end of the day, and my stress melts away from that clean house. Don't you ever feel that way when the house is nice and clean? Not only that, not only do I feel that way, my wife feels that way. And you know what they say, guys, happy wife, happy life? Well, when she feels that happy, that is a huge benefit to me. I could spend that money in marriage counseling, or I could spend that money on housekeeping. I think I'll spend that money on housekeeping. Law number 2 of these 5 laws of stratospheric success is that once your worth is determined, once your value is determined, your true compensation is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. Some of this makes natural sense. If you have a manager of a store, clearly they're going to make more money than the employees of the store because they're at a higher level, they're serving more people. And clearly, a regional manager for that chain would earn more money than the store manager for that chain. Those things make sense to us. But how can we leverage that knowledge without having to get a promotion? Well, if we understand that there's always ways that we can get value and add value, we can look to expand our customer base, whether we're in sales, whether we're a consultant looking for new clients, or even if you're working that 9-to-5 job, which may sometimes be more like 7 to 6, you can serve your internal customers. And the more things you do that you discover that you can serve your internal customers, the more in demand you're going to be. Once you're in demand, that may mean that you get promotions, but it certainly means that you become more valuable to more people. And that's really what the law of compensation is about, becoming more valuable to more people so that you can give your worth to more people and give value to more people. The third law of stratospheric success, to me, is what turbocharges these 5 laws, and that's the law of influence, which says that your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Now, I know you might be thinking at this point, wait a minute, I put everyone else first, and that somehow makes me get? Yes, it does. And let me tell you how. When I was younger, I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. And we would run confidence courses, and you get to this big giant wall, you can't possibly get over it by yourself. And what's the first thing the person does? The first person to the wall, they stop and they give a boost to everybody going up over that wall. Now the last person goes over that wall and they leave this person standing there, right? Of course not. They're going to reach back over the wall and pull you up as well. So if you think about the law of influence, what it says is that the more people you give a boost over the wall, there's going to be no shortage of hands reaching back to pull you up as well. And in fact, if you give enough people a boost over the wall, you're going to end up creating an army of personal walking ambassadors. These are people that you have helped so much that they are now as invested in your success as you are. And these are the people that are going to say, hey, do you know about? Let me introduce you to, hey, if you're looking for this service, you need to go to, and this increases the number of people that you can serve. The law of authenticity is the 4th law of stratospheric success, which says that the most valuable gift you have to give is yourself. Even Dr. Seuss said, there is no one you-ier than you. And what that means is that you are exactly what the world needs. You are exactly what your market needs. And when you're trying to be someone else, it doesn't fit. But if you can be yourself, people then begin to know you, like you, and trust you. Because they can't know you, like you, and trust you if they don't really know who you are. And one of the things Bob Burke tells us is that all things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust. Let me say that again. All things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to people they know, like, and trust. So if we understand that us being authentic provides that foundation, we also find out that us being authentic, if we can identify those things within ourselves that make us truly unique, we can then begin to market that as a way to add even more value that only we can provide because of who we are, our backgrounds, and our experiences. So the law of authenticity is extremely important to the 5 laws of stratospheric success. Now, the 5th law says that the key to effective giving is to be open to receiving. If you've ever heard the expression, it's better to give than to receive, I don't believe that. I believe that giving and receiving are 2 sides of the same coin. In fact, my giving when I give to you is your receiving. Your giving when you give to me is my receiving. You can't have one without the other. What if I told you that it was medically proven that it was healthier to only exhale? Would you do it? Could you do it? Would you even try? No, because you know that just makes no sense. There's no way you could only exhale. There's no way you could only give. You have to be able to receive. Not only that, you can't give what you have not first received. And this works with everything. We breathe out carbon dioxide, which is taken in by the plants. The plants use that and generate oxygen, which we take and use and give off carbon dioxide. Our giving is their receiving, their giving is our receiving, and that is, you'll find that so many places in the universe. So giving and receiving are both 2 sides of the same coin. They're both important. And if you want to receive, you have to give. And if you give, you will receive. Because when you give more value, when you give people the opportunity and you give them that boost over the wall, that is going to come back to you in many ways. And many of the ways it comes back is monetary. Because the money and the reward is really the echo to the lightning of the value that you provide. So when we do this, when we give so much, we have no option but to receive. It's like that boost over the wall. You've given so many people a boost over the wall, there's no choice but to look at all the hands reaching back to help you. Sometimes we block our own receptivity. We don't realize we do it. I did it. I blocked my receptivity in many ways. Oh, I earned a good salary at work. But even things as simple as, can I help you with that? No, 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 I've got it. Da, da, da. I'm superhuman. I don't need help. I don't need someone to help me out. I don't need to receive from these people because all I'm going to do is give. I want to feel like I'm generous. I want to feel like I'm magnanimous. I still can be and still receive. And I had to learn ways that I was blocking my own receptivity. And I see it all the time. Some people say, well, I have no money, I have nothing coming in, but I'm open to receiving. If I won the lottery today, there's no way I would turn it down. Okay, what are you doing to make that happen? Have you bought a lottery ticket? No, then you're not doing something to actively make the receiving happen. Now, I'm not saying the lottery should be your path forward to riches, but what I am saying is, if you're open to receiving, you have to do something to give. You have to do something to set that up so that you can receive. All of these laws need to work together in harmony. It's easy for a lot of people to do some of the laws very well, but other laws not as well. All the laws really act in conjunction with each other, and when you use all 5 laws together, that's when you become a go-giver. When you've made that shift from what you get to what you can give. Because when you've made that shift, it does come back to you. I have a friend of mine, his name is Roy. Roy and I have known each other, I don't want to say how many years, but we've known each other for decades. And he's a mechanic. He's a great mechanic. And he's got some of these laws down pat. The law of value, Roy provides so much in value, more than he takes in payment. Quite frankly, he's not taking enough payment. He provides so much value, but he doesn't take the payment he should be getting. He just doesn't charge enough. But he's still providing more in value than he takes in payment. The law of compensation, how many people you serve and how well you serve them. Roy is such a great mechanic, and he's so price reasonable that even other dealerships send their cars to him. He has more work than he can handle. It sometimes takes him 3, 4, 5 days before he can get to a car that comes into his shop because he's got a huge backlog. He's definitely serving lots of people. Putting other people's interests first, you could never ask for a better mechanic than Roy because he will always tell you exactly what you need to know, what repairs you need, what repairs you don't need, how long you can wait for these repairs. He always puts the customer's interest first. Sounds like a go-giver so far, doesn't it? And authenticity, you can't ask for a more authentic person than Roy. When it comes to the first 4 laws, he's got it going, but he's not quite a go-giver because he's not open to receiving. And I ask him, Roy, what is it? Why aren't you open to receiving? He says, you know what? I'm surviving. I'm doing better than most people, and that's my goal. My goal is if I can do better than most people, if I can be surviving, I'm okay. And I try and help him, Roy. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about doing things in a way that the universe has no choice but to come back and help you out. Because it's also not just saying that I don't want to take the money, it's understanding your value. You have to be able to walk in your value. You have to be able to declare, this is what I'm worth. Because if you're not, you're devaluing yourself, and that's not a go-giver. So I'm still working with Roy. It's going to take a little bit of time. He's got some things he's working on. As for me, I've always been working on it myself too, because I've realized I'm passionate about helping people out. I'm passionate about helping people reach the levels of success that they want to be in. And I would love to help you reach your levels of stratospheric success. I would love it if you come up to me after this presentation and let me know if you'd like me to work with you, or if you have an organization or someone else you'd like me to work with. Just put your name on the back of your business card and let me know what you'd like me to do, and talk to me, and I'd be happy to help you out. Because one of the things I've learned is that our minds are like rivers. A river is water following the path of least resistance, and it does this for so long that eventually the water carves a riverbed. Through earth, through rock, it carves a riverbed so that that is the direction of this river, and it can be a raging river. Can you change the course of a raging river? Sure you can. You can build a dam. Now, when we think about building a dam, we think about heavy construction equipment and concrete and steel to do these things to change the path of this river. How do beavers build a dam? One stick at a time. Beavers build a dam one stick at a time. And our mind, our brains, are like building habits. And these habits, we can change one stick at a time. And it's remembering every single time you have this opportunity that something comes up to you, making the conscious decision to change. I told you I used to block my receptivity. People would say, can I help you out? No, 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 I've got it. Da, da, da. I don't need help. Now when people ask me if they can help, absolutely you can help. If you're kind enough to offer, I'm going to take you up on that offer. I may not know how yet, but I will absolutely find a way to take you up because I appreciate that. And as they help me, I'm always looking for a way to help them as well. They're going to give me a boost over the wall, I'll reach and I'll help them over the wall as well. And sometimes you've done these things so much that it appears to come back to you from even out of left field. Sometimes you have these experiences where you get a phone call from somebody you didn't even know, but they knew someone who knew you, and knew what you did, and they call you up and say, I've heard about you, I need you and what you do, because uniquely you're exactly what we need, and you get these wonderful opportunities. And it may seem like it's coming from left field, but it's really coming from all the work you've done in implementing the 5 laws of stratospheric success. Because what is success? Success is that point at which opportunity and preparation come together. I'd love to be able to help you in that success. I wish you every success. Thank you very much.